Hi, Dr. Jardina here. Welcome. And if you're following me here from Instagram, my apologies. I don't look like Joe Manganiello. We're all disappointed. We're here today to talk about a new program that I want to roll out soon. You're going to be the guinea pig. We're all working this out together. I realize I see so many women who come to my office and there's these great ideas and there's this great potential and like all the puzzle pieces are there, but we haven't put the puzzle pieces together. So myself, Dr. Jardina, as well as my colleagues at Coral Gables Counseling Center, we're going to be putting together a day-long workshop coming up soon, working on women's empowerment and getting the success and the happiness in life that you want. We're calling this, Ladies, You've Got This. So, ladies, you've got this. This is going to be the message you need to hear to recognize you've got everything you need. And this is going to be a little summary of a day-long seminar that I'm going to give you just little nuggets of today. So this is longer than the Instagram post, but shorter than an 8-hour or 6-hour day. And my apologies, again, this is a test program, so I'm going to use some notes. Also, I've got a lot to say, and if I start rambling, we're not going to get anywhere. This is going to be something that comes up here. You need to have a plan. So, ladies, you've got this. If you want success in life, if you want to be successful in your pursuits, these are the things I think we all need. You need to know your limitations and when to challenge them. You need a detailed plan and measurable goals. You need a solid routine. You need a squad of supporters. You need a positive mindset. You need the humility and insight to learn from your losses. So let's break these down, okay? In about 5 minutes here. Won't keep it too long, maybe 10. All right, number one, know your limitations. This sounds like a very negative, down way to start something that sounds very positive. Girl, you've got this. Ladies, you can do this. But check it. Before you jump into a major pursuit, and whether this is personal growth and change or growing your business or your career or your wealth, you need to know what you've got and what you don't got. You need to take stock of gains and losses, assets and weaknesses. And I think knowing your weaknesses is key. Knowing your limitations is key, because then you know what's your role. Okay? If you're putting together a small business, if you're putting together a startup, or simply if you're trying to improve yourself and your household and your family life and your well-being, what is your role? What are you good at? What are you not good at? Let's just be smart. Set yourself up for success. So you need to know, what's my role in this? And I accept that I have certain limitations and I need to delegate. I also need to own it. I need to know who I am. A lot of the struggle that I see women having on my couch and in their lives is not accepting that you have limitations. Listen, I started with one. I don't look like Joe Manganiello. We've all got limitations. But you need to see that and not run from it and not be weird about it and just accept it and use it and lean into it. And with that, then it allows you to work on a workaround. And the workaround, like I said, might be delegating, but the workaround might be recognizing that I have these shortcomings. I have these tendencies. So if we take it away from business and we talk about health and wellness, well, recognize that one of my limitations is I am not a morning person. I suck in the mornings. Okay? So we need to work around that. Let's not set you up for failure. Let's set you up for success. You need to see this thing that's a limitation and work around it before we even get the ball rolling. And with this, then we also need to recognize maybe some of these limitations are fears in your head, but they're not actual limitations. We need to know when to challenge our limitations. So it's important to be able to distinguish, and this is what we'll do in the workshop, and this is what I do in individual therapy with patients, but what is something that you're making up, that the world doesn't see, that isn't actual, and what is an actual limitation? A lot of people doubt themselves and have insecurities and fears, but then if you step back and you ask a bunch of strangers to rate that person on whatever quality, well, there might be a mismatch there. So I need you to know your limitations and also know when to break through them, because they're all made up in your head. All right, ladies, you got this. Step 2, we need a detailed plan and measurable goals. I hope you've heard this before. I hope if you're starting a small business, I hope if you're ramping up your career, I hope you've heard this before. But check it. You're not going to get anywhere if you don't have a plan. This is when the vision boards became such a thing so long ago. It's important to have an image, a vision, an idea, more than just, I'm going to create the next cool app, or I'm going to get fit, or I'm going to find love, or I'm going to be an awesome parent. Those are, okay, that's nice, but give me details. Give me the full business plan. I'm not going to invest in you if you can't map it out. And you're not going to invest in you and be successful if you don't have a breakdown, steps. But what's really important here is the measurable goals piece, okay? From a psychological perspective, we need to celebrate the little wins. You need to be able to see that I made it a half mile down the road, then 3/4 of a mile, then a full mile. So having those measurable goals allows for you to feel like I'm headed in the right direction and get a little pumped of positivity. What this also does is it's important to know your history. And this is knowing your personal history, okay? Where have my plans failed before? And so let's have a detailed plan that goes differently than last time. But then it's also knowing history. Like if you're starting up a business, have you looked around to see who else is doing similar stuff? If you've got an invention, have you checked the patent logs? You need to know what people have done, what you have done, so then we can do it better or different. So details, measurable goals. And the measurable goals, if we bring it back to health and wellness, this is huge in the sense of, say you're doing a diet. So often people get excited and they think they have a good idea or they read a magazine article, but if you don't check your body fat or your strength or your weight or your something, if we don't measure in a clearly defined way, then you can go 6 weeks down the road and then find that you didn't get the thing you wanted. So we need to have check-in points and be able to quantify, is this headed in the right direction? If you want success, you need to be able to measure that success at small intervals. Step 3, solid routine. Consistency is key here. If you want success, if you want to be the person you want to be, you can't do it just a little bit today and then not tomorrow. It needs to be routine, routine, routine. I'm going to screw up this quote. Somebody gave me this one the other day and I should have prepared it before we started talking, but it's something like when motivation fails, then discipline takes over. If you have discipline, if you have routine, if you have consistency, then it doesn't matter. Do I want to go to work today? Do I want to work out today? Do I want to work on myself today? Do I want to work on my business today? Maybe not. But if you already have that consistency, if you already have that, you don't want to break the chain. A lot of folks, what you do is you get a calendar with all the days and you X off or check off the days that you did your thing towards your goal. And if you've got 30 days in a row, are you going to skip 31? This is the principle of how AA and NA works, right? You get your 30-day chip. You want to see consistency. I don't want to hear that you're on the wagon and off the wagon. So knowing that you're doing something with discipline, and maybe the discipline is the thing that we need to work on, or you need to work on, but if you have that consistency, then you're much more likely to achieve your goals and find that happiness and wellness. And what happens here too, love this quote, can't claim it, but you have to be willing to sacrifice the life you have to get the life you want. So the life you have is comfortable in some way, that's why you're in it. Your bed's comfortable. You need to give up the comfortable bed and go hit the pavement and go work out. Your current lifestyle might be comfortable. You're going to have to give that up and spend less time with family or friends or dating if you want to bang away at your business. What you're doing now maintains the now. If you want something new, we need consistent effort and a willingness to sacrifice. Because the thing that I want is important enough. This is where the motivation does come in. This is where the vision that we said from a few steps ago comes in. If I have a clear vision and I know I want this thing, then later on, when I falter in my day-to-day, then the consistency will take over even if the motivation isn't there. And it will remind me why I'm sacrificing. All right, ladies, step 4. You need a squad. You need a girl squad. You need a guy squad, I don't care. You need a squad of supporters and cheerleaders. Do you have people who toot your horn or people who are party poopers? Tooters or poopers? Which one do we have? And you got both in your life. So when you're trying to make a change, whatever the change may be, when you're trying to level up, you got to recognize that there are people who are going to push you, maybe uncomfortably so, but who have got your back, who see that, okay, Susie, I see that you don't want to do the thing today, but I'm going to remind you that Susie from 3 days ago was really pumped about this, so now I'm going to push you. And I'm going to give you some tough love. We need the supporters, the cheerleaders, the ones who toot your horn and tell you what a badass you are. And recognize that they're party poopers. They're folks who are going to rain on your parade because they don't want to see you change. Because if you change, then they have to change. Because if you get better, then you might not hang out with them. Because they feel inferior. It brings up their insecurities. A million reasons. But there are people who are party poopers. There are people who see you a certain way, and they can't envision what you envision. They might see that this is the best you're going to be in whatever domain, and they can't fathom that you would be more. So they're going to keep telling you that message, and you're going to start believing that. We need to get rid of the party poopers and have that squad of supporters, those people who toot your horn. This is clutch. On top of this, what's important to remember is that relationships matter in success. If you want to be successful in whatever, you need people. We need people to praise us. We need people to push us. We need people to aid us if we delegate. We need people to educate us and tell us, hey, just so you know, somebody already invented that. We are relationship beings. So your relationships matter. And if you're hanging with this crowd, you're going to be successful. If you're hanging with this crowd, you're going to stay the same damn place. Choose wisely. Get a squad of supporters. All right, ladies, you've got this. Step 5. Seems obvious, but really, we need a positive mindset. If you're going to go into making a major life change, if you're going to be the person that you weren't yesterday and you picture yourself being tomorrow, you need to be ridiculously positive. There's a quote again out there that you need to dream so big that when you tell people your dreams that they will laugh. Don't make yourself small. Don't think small. We need to go in just imagining everything is possible. Because, and this would be another lecture and another whole seminar, but at a deep core soul spiritual level, you are all powerful and you can do anything. You just haven't tapped into that yet. So we need to find at least a little sousson of that and feel that positive mindset. And what we do here is we need to fantasize. We need to fantasize big. We need to dream big. And even if you don't tell anybody because you're embarrassed, you need to map it all out. Now, this is more than the detailed plan and vision we talked about earlier. This is, after this step, I've got 9 more steps. This is, I have a crazy outlandish plan for my life and my happiness and my success. And let yourself fantasize about how awesome it's going to be on the other side, about how awesome you're going to feel on the other side. That fantasy, tied into the discipline we spoke about a minute ago, it's bridging this gap between those things. That's where success happens. So you can't just all be grounded and you know, these are hard workers. There's a lot of people in this country and others that are hard workers, hard laborers. They just nose to the ground, get it done. But they're going to stay there. If you want to level up, you need to dream big and crazy. You need to think, what if planes could fly? What if we had iPhones? What if I ran 1,000 miles? Also, tied into the positive mindset, we need to celebrate our past wins. If you're going to stay motivated through the tough times, through the down times, you need to be able to look back at a documented evidence of, look how awesome I have been, look how far I have come, look what I'm capable of. So it's tooting your own horn. This isn't about the girl gang backing you up. This is you being able to look at trophies on the mantle. This is you being able to look at raises you've gotten at work, at strength gained, at insights gained, at whatever you're trying to level up on. You need to be able to look back and give yourself a little pep talk and say, that was awesome, and that was awesome, and look what you did there. And that positive mindset comes from inarguable facts. This is not BS. We're not just saying nice things. The truth is there. I did run that marathon. I did kill it in that board meeting. I did invent that thing. I did lift that weight. Whatever we're trying to do, if you can see that it actually happened before in some way, then it's easier to remind yourself that it's capable in the future, even more so. Positive mindset. This is the final note that I want to make to you. We need to have humility and a willingness to learn from our losses. So if you're going to level up, you need to recognize the inevitability that you're going to fail first. And this, again, it sounds negative, but it's a level of acceptance. It's just recognizing that Beyonce wasn't built in a day, ladies. There have been times that you've tried something before and you didn't get there, and that's why we're trying again, and that's okay. But once we accept that, then you can go forward with a growth mindset, a willingness to fail forward, and to learn from your mistakes. We're going to make mistakes. It's okay. In the military, they talk about having an after-action report. And in lots of other industries, there's something similar where you sit down with your team. Medical, we do it too. You sit down and look at a case and you say, okay, what could have been done better? And it's not about blame, it's about learning. Nobody's pointing fingers and saying you suck. People are saying, okay, yeah, I think that could have been done a little better. And so let's learn from it. Not judging. And so this is not the time to break yourself down. It's the time to level yourself up and see where you could have done better. And what you do here is you open yourself up to feedback and criticism and a willingness to say, okay, show me. I don't have it all yet. I can't remember the number, I think it's 7, that on average it takes 7 quit attempts to quit smoking or drinking. This is normal. This is evidence-based. You're not the only one. But once you accept that, then it's okay. That I know I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to have my billion-dollar idea, my first company out. Okay. But what did you learn from that company? What did you learn from that first pitch meeting? And are you willing to have a growth mindset, to humble yourself and say, okay, my feelings are hurt. I had a good cry. Now, let's be smart about this. How am I going to improve next time? Let's go to the tape and let's look at it and let's see where I missed a step, where I could have been better. So having that humility and that growth mindset, that's the last piece of this puzzle. So ladies, you've got this.